Giselda's back, but a reality-changing wish threatens to destroy all she loves, including her stepdaughter. Oh, and her real daughter.
This episode of the Walt Vault podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Do you like this show and want to make a show of your own? Let me tell you all about Anchor. Number one, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. I use Anchor right now. I'm using it to publish this episode of the Walt Vault, and I have been doing so for the last 100 episodes or so, and I love it. It's a great product, and it's costing me no money, which is fantastic. So you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership with ads like this. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app now or go to Anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle, Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault episode 189.
189.
Hello.
what up?
Oh snap! I thought I was in the vault by myself. Y'all was just quiet for a minute there.
Sorry.
What's happening, y'all? Let's see here.
We're very quiet today.
Yeah.
also have snacks in them.
Yeah. Somebody provided snacks at the beginning of the pod instead of 20 minutes in like we normally do. Well, we're usually on a strict timetable, not today. This week, we are talking about the 2022 brand new Disney Plus original film, Disenchanted, starring Amy Adams, Patrick Dempsey, Idina Menzel, or Adele Dazeem, whatever her name is, and Maya Rudolph. Oh, and also Gabriella Baldacchino as Morgan Phillip. Baldacchino, excuse me.
Correct. And this came out last year, technically, right?
Right.
2022?
Yes.
What month? November or something?
Let me see. That information was not directly in front of me. It came out November.
November. Okay. So before we get into this, listeners, we're going to do the Louis question. I don't know. Luis, you have a question for us today?
All right, if you had to pick between an emotional support animal, okay, that would sleep with you and share your room, here are your choices.
Okay.
A rhino
Oh.
or a water buffalo.
Oof.
What's the water buffalo look like again?
Looks like a buffalo. It's by the water.
Like a bison?
Sure.
Has to sleep in my bed?
Yeah, it's your emotional support animal.
I guess I got a big bed then.
A water buffalo or a rhinoceros.
Yeah, I need to see a picture of a water buffalo.
Andre, are you computing?
I'm computing. Water buffalo. Beep, 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 beep.
I mean, I'm going to do a rhino because the water buffalo looks scary.
But rhinos are pretty scary too.
I would say that rhinos are probably scarier in general than water buffalo. Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure they could both kill us though.
right. They both got these sharp objects coming out of their faces.
I just really love that they're an emotional.
It's an emotional support animal.
It's not very soft for an emotional.
Can I take them to work,
Luis,
Lou?
can he take
They're
them?
your emotional support animal. They go with you everywhere.
Okay. Which one of these guys is going to fit in my cubicle?
In my car.
I'm doing a rhino.
Can I ride a water buffalo to work?
Oh, which one is more rideable? That is the question.
I feel like the water
I feel like
buffalo.
the water buffalo is going to carry a little bit more weight than a rhino. And honestly, the rhino's back looks uncomfy to sit
That's
on.
what I'm saying. I feel like I could like saddle.
I would need a deep saddle to hang out with the rhino. So yeah, in terms of comfort as my emotional support animal, I'm gonna go with the water buffalo. He gets to come to work with me. His name is Wallace, and he
Wallace.
keeps me calm.
Wally.
Wallace the water buffalo.
What did you
Yeah.
say, dear?
They probably.
Rhino. I'm going with the rhino.
Rhino.
I
from
think
the show.
Luis literally asked me this while we were in bed trying to go to sleep last night. So
It just popped into his head.
yeah. So I
Trey's
said
trying to tease on my nubbits.
I see. Hey, that number's not for your mouth.
my number one thing I said was that the water buffalo would stink, and he goes, "You think the rhino's gonna smell good?" I said, "No, you're right.
They're both stanky.
they both stink."
Yeah, they both stink. You're going to need a shovel in your bedroom.
Which one has less flies?
Hoo-wee. Oh yeah, the smell is gonna be. The smell's gonna be hard to
My
get
favorite
used to.
part is that you typed in domestic water buffalo.
I didn't type that in, but that is what came up when I typed in water buffalo. What does a wild water buffalo look like? Because this is the guy that's gonna be coming to work with me. Oh, I think it's this dude with the big old horns. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. I guess
And you know, I was kind of basing mine on who I thought would be more comfortable to like sleep in a bed with, and this water buffalo with these gigantic horns does not look that much more comfy than a rhino. But I'll stick with my choice. Me and Wallace are gonna ride it out. We'll be fine. All right, Luis got up and left, so I don't know what he would choose, but
I
that's.
said rhino last night. I don't know.
We'll see if he's changed when we get back. When he gets back. Hi. What's happening? You're on the pod. What'd you like to say? What would you choose? Okay, it sounds like water buffalo to me. I
Water
don't know.
buffalo or rhino, Trey?
He said, I'm gonna eat the microphone.
Okay.
All right.
We're
That's
going to
it.
go ahead and go into our first impressions of Disenchanted. Andre,
Oh,
first impression.
man, she went to me and I ate a cracker.
Oh, stop.
It's okay. First impression. So this movie is obviously a long-awaited sequel to Enchanted, which came out in 2007. I can't say that I, in particular, was waiting for it for that long. You know, I wasn't super hyped for an Enchanted sequel, but, you know, it's exciting that they were making one. We watched it for the first time just like last week or something like that, last weekend. And it was fine. It was a fine film. Fine-ish. Finer. Fine. It was all right.
Fine.
It was just all right. I liked the direction that the story went at some points. It did feel a little surprising to me. I didn't necessarily think that it was going to be a villain v villain kind of movie. That was cool, and I thought that the visual effects looked good, especially the 2D animation. I was really excited about seeing that, and performances were all right. Go Amy Adams, go Maya Rudolph. Good pie.
Trey, or first of all, Luis, was it water buffalo or rhino for you?
Rhino.
Okay.
I
Decision
feel
stays
that
the same.
if any of them are gonna charge at you, you got about a few extra seconds if a rhino's trying to charge at you than a water buffalo.
Okay.
So, you know.
You're worried about your emotional support animal coming to charge you?
Hey man, sometimes they're the ones who need the emotional support.
That's right.
All
It's okay, Wallace.
Who is whose?
Impression of Disenchanted.
First impression?
I thought that was the baby. It
Let 'em
wasn't.
fart?
It was Louise.
No.
That's inhaling profusely.
This movie sucked. Sucked. Inhaled profusely.
Do you like how I know my husband?
Okay.
The baby thought it was fun.
Sucked. Literally, I tried my absolute hardest in any movie I've ever watched to pay attention, but it sucked. So I stopped paying attention when she cast the wish. Actually, not even. When she was giving this thing
When they gave her
by
the
Idina
wishing wand.
Menzel and Courtney Collins.
Right.
Okay.
Dina Menzel and Courtney Collins.
I stopped paying attention at that point. I tried. It's up.
Couldn't get it back.
No. And the main reason why I could see where it was going, and I was not very happy about what they were gonna make my girl Amy Adams go through. Because I can't see her in bad light. You know?
She's never bad.
No.
Hey, man, has she been in any movies where she's bad?
No.
No.
I don't think
She
so.
was kind of mean on The Office that one time when Jim was dating her. You all remember that? And,
Jim deserved it.
and she was looking at Pam like, he's my man now. You remember that? That was as bad as I've ever seen Amy Adams be until this movie.
She's so mean.
I love Amy Adams. Okay, fair enough, Luis. So Emily.
I have lots of things to
Lots
say.
of thoughts.
Lots of thoughts, lots of critiques. I did not love it. I didn't like it. There was parts that I thought were acceptable.
Yes.
Like the animated parts I thought were really good. I mean, it's fun to get into an era where 2D animation actually looks like a person.
Right.
Versus just it being 2D animation.
Right.
But like, you looking at this Idina Menzel and you're like, okay,
Hey.
cheekbones,
Yeah.
what's up?
They put her cheekbones in. Look
You
at
know?
that.
So
They didn't do that with
cool.
Elsa.
No. So that's cool. And that was great. Like choreography wise, visually it was very pretty, but like I did not like Villain v Villain.
Right.
I thought it was too tropey. You knew where it was going, so I was bored because I was like, okay,
Right.
all right, all right. I know what's gonna happen now.
Here we
Okay,
go
I know
now.
what's gonna happen now. So I was I'll
Kudos
tell
to
you what.
You kept going.
I
knew
did.
it was, I started getting bored. I was like, nope, I'm done.
I'll tell you what I wish they would have done later because I have
Okay.
like a whole mind map of how this would have been better. But we'll talk about that later. Michelle, what is your first impression?
So going into this, my mom and dad had seen this when it came out, and they called me after, and they were like, "This movie was horrible. Like, don't watch it. Just just stick to the first one. You don't need to see this one." And I was like, "Okay." And I didn't really have any expectations going into it, and I think because of that, it was about as good as I thought it was going to be. Very predictable, very corny. The music was just not as good.
The
or
music
catchy in
was.
this one.
It was like 3 songs had gone by before I was like, are they even trying with any of these?
Like, I
Yeah.
get that they gave Adina a whole song and they wrote it like just for her voice. You can tell.
Love power.
It wasn't good.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I like the songs in the first one, and it's very
Yeah.
catchy or whatnot. And
I mean, I'm just saying happy working song or whatever.
Exactly.
How do you know was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
so
they
I
were
think,
like low-key bangers.
like, if the music, low key bang. If the music was better, maybe it would have been better. But if your music couldn't really hold up to it, it was just kind of lackluster.
Well, and that's sad. It was Alan Menken. Like, come on, man.
I mean, it was good. I
Are
didn't
we at
think.
the end where it's like the downturn?
This is Alan's his final year. He's like, I'm done with this, y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.
And I mean, it was very predictable, like you said, but I didn't hate the villain v villain thing necessarily. That was probably the better of the songs, so I kind of enjoyed that
oh,
part.
song-wise, that was
Better.
not. That was probably one of the better songs.
Yeah.
Remind
I guess what I
Rudolph
mean
and
is like
Amy Adams are-
story-wise.
Oh, I
wasn't
mean,
like-
yeah, that's super predictable.
Right.
But it was just okay. Like, I won't be rewatching this one.
Yeah.
But the first one, I would.
Oh yeah.
I think what happened to me when I was watching it is that she makes this wish and then like changes reality, right? And I was like, oh, okay, we're just doing WandaVision, huh? All right, let's just WandaVision it up. Let's see where we're going. I want to see her husband, Patrick Dempsey, get on a train and like get out of the Andalasia or whatever, Malaysia. What's this place called?
Andalasia.
No, Monroe.
Monrovia.
Monrovia, that's right. I wanted him to go from get on a train from Monrovia and then like magically go through a barrier or whatever, and then come out and be with his coworkers and be like, "Wait, what's going on? Why do I have a sword?" La 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 la. Whatever. And then I was like, okay. And then the people in the town are gonna start realizing that like their realities have been changed and that they're gonna want to try to change it back, and then they're gonna get the wand back. I went down a whole.
Me
I went
too.
through the entire plot of WandaVision in my head at like minute 14 of this movie or whatever, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to see what happens. And then it was like, no, we're not doing that, and no, we're not doing that. Now I was like, oh, but all that stuff is cool. You guys should have just made this WandaVision.
Dude, see? So I think we all have like similar things where it's like, well, you could have done this. It actually would have been a little cooler.
Right, a little smoother.
I don't know. It bothered me because, okay, so I guess plot-wise, people, I hope you watched it.
I hope you watched it.
Or, if you didn't, I understand.
I hope you don't watch it.
They're in New York. She's like, the kid's a teenager now, And
She's still singing all the time.
yeah.
The teenagers get a little over it at this point. She's
And
like,
truthfully, like, life is. They had a baby.
yeah,
And life is.
life is going.
A baby that they
tired
never
and-
remember about.
Yeah,
Half the movie, I was like, "Where's the baby?"
yeah, nobody cared.
He's like, nobody cares about the baby.
Nobody cares about babies. Anywho, so they move to the suburbs and they get to the suburbs and she realizes that life is still kind of funky.
Right.
So then the baby gets a gift from Corny and
Yeah, Corny Collins and Adele Dazeem come in. And they're like, hey, we're just visiting. Remember us from the first movie? And I legit did not remember for a while that Idina Menzel's character was from New York and was just dating
Yeah.
Patrick Dempsey in the first one. And then she got sucked into a whole world of magic, and now she's a
they were going
queen.
to be disenchanted as well. I thought everybody was going to be having like midlife crisis.
Right, that it would
periods.
just like turn everyone from
Yeah.
original Andalasia to
Yeah, I thought they were going to be having
OG
issues
home.
too.
That would have been cool if it had like swapped
Yeah.
and the animated version became all boring and corporate and whatever. That would have been interesting. There's a whole bunch of ways this movie could have been more interesting instead
know.
of the one they
Well, and
presented.
then, so she makes this wish, and then they wake up in the morning and everything is different or whatever.
Right.
And,
It's a musical now.
ay, caramba.
Life.
So now, Amy Adams is in her enchanted house, and it's her modern house is now
Mm-hmm. Magical,
singing
yes.
and doing like a Beauty and the Beast style
Right.
Good Morning song.
She gave life to all of her appliances.
And then they go out on the street and they're literally in Beauty and the Beast.
Right. Like you see,
Walking down the street in their like little.
there's the
like,
baker with his tray like always. This fool.
Oh.
Basically,
my
I was
God.
okay with the Easter eggs.
The Easter eggs were actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Right.
But it bothered me that when I say we were in Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
I mean like we were just in a house that had a coffee maker
Yeah.
and a singing toaster.
Right.
And now we're like in
now-
the market getting daffodils.
Right, now the
And
plague is
tulips.
going to happen next week. Look at what everybody's
Right.
wearing. We're all back in the 1400s
The
right
rats
now.
are coming. And he gets on a
Ew.
train.
Ooh, the
Remember
rats.
that. The bird gave the
The cockroaches.
cockroach a side look like, "Ooh, that should be."
Oh, yeah, that's right. She was singing to her cockroaches and rats and pigeons, all her New York creatures, to say goodbye to them, which was funny. But there was a lot less like cockroachery throughout the rest of the movie. And the cockroaches were a fun part of the first one, you know?
So I don't know. It's just a very. It was like bizarre twists and turns where, I don't know. It just wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
In my mind, I think what bothered Luis is that you could tell, like, okay, well, this is what's going to happen now when the wish wand came.
Right.
Right? So
The wish wand.
You knew she was unhappy, and now there's going to be some type of, like, redemption, which is fine.
She wished for them all to have a perfect fairy tale life. And so it changes reality and whatnot, and everything becomes all happy, and her stepdaughter is singing, which she
Right.
didn't want to do before. And I was like, all right, we nailed it.
Yeah, and I
then-
think this was my number one gripe, though. It's like, yes, she's wishing for this fairy tale life and stuff, but when was the first movie, like 12 years ago or something?
Yeah, I think so.
And she's still not over the fact that she's not in a fairy tale anymore? Like, that to me was like, you're psychotic now. Like, it was cute in the first one, and now I'm like, this is kind of psychotic.
They also went through like a whole bunch of reasons as to why the real world is different. Like in the animated world, happily ever after basically means like everything's taken care of,
Every
and
day.
stay in love forever, and everything's super chill.
Right.
But in the real world, happily ever after, I mean, you really got to work for it. You guys still got to go to work. You got to pay your bills. You got to do this, do that, pay your bills again.
Taxes.
So yeah, she's really just being like, well, the real world bites. Maybe I shouldn't have married into this nonsense.
Like, go home then.
Right?
Bye.
Yeah, you didn't have to have the baby. What are you doing? Yeah. So she wishes everything differently, and it starts to pop off when she goes into town, and the lady who was the main Karen of the town before has now become the main queen of the town. the evil queen, and she's wearing a very evil dress. She looks great. When
It reminds me of Once Upon a Time, like Regina.
Yes. Regina,
definitely.
exactly.
It was definitely giving those vibes.
when Maya Rudolph comes on screen in the beginning, like when she's carrying it out, I was like, oh snap! I forgot Maya Rudolph is in this movie. This movie's gonna be great. And I kind of just like kept waiting for them to give her a funny line to say or let her
I mean, like, wasn't
do her
her
improv.
fault.
Like she's on The Good Place, which I don't know if you guys have seen, but it's a show about like the afterlife and how it looks like in a kind of a corporate sense or whatever. And so at one point, Maya Rudolph comes in and she's playing the judge. She's basically like the All Father. She's God, right?
Right.
And she is so hilarious in that role. Like she's giving them the line, she's telling them like how it works, how heaven works, how the bad place works and all this stuff. And then she's just slipping in zingers left and right. And I'm like, all right, this lady is the best. And she was in, what was that movie? Bridesmaids, where she was the main bride and she was hilarious in
Right.
that. Pooping in the street and
I mean,
whatnot.
she's super funny.
She's super funny. And so, like, this entire movie, I was like, here we go. Here comes Maya Rudolph's big line. This is the reason they put her in the movie. And it's just
Yeah, I
like...
don't know why she's
And
in
then
the
she just
movie.
kind of ends the scene with like, And I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, where's it at?
And
Maya?
she's not, no offense to her, she's not a great snarler. Like, it's
Right.
not her.
Yeah.
If she wasn't going to be funnier, she at least could have been meaner. You know? She wasn't even that evil.
This movie was giving me the vibes. What was that movie we watched that was like? It was like fairy tales, like Villain. It's not High School Musical. It's like the new High School Musical.
Descendants?
Yeah, wasn't Maya Rudolph wasn't in that,
No.
but the character she was playing was kind of similar
Oh, to one of the characters from
to
the
like
Descendants?
the evil queen or whatever. Like it was giving me those vibes. My son is very energetic.
And he's fascinated by all the chords we got going on out here.
He's ready to be the new podcast. Baby.
Yes.
Let's
he's
see.
here.
What do you have to say?
Well, they've heard him.
I'm
For
sure
sure.
that they can hear him. Okay, anywho. So, my thought as I'm watching this is like, I don't know why we had to go down the evil stepmother route.
Right.
Because if we're going for like a happy, did she say perfect fairy tale life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
It's definitely not perfect if
yeah, so I don't know how that counted as a perfect fairy
Right,
tale
there's
life. I
conflict.
feel like that number one isn't my wish, yo.
right.
But I think it would have been more interesting had they come up with some kind of original way for like the family to like come together to defeat Maya Rudolph and her lackeys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Versus like him going off to slay a fake dragon.
Slaying a
and,
dragon. It's in a cave. You can see its nose.
and the girl being, I don't know.
What happened
She
with her?
had no point in this movie. Like there was no point to her character.
She's Morgan. She's a stepdaughter from the first one, and in this, she's like, I don't like it when you sing songs and talk about magic and whatnot. Mwah. I just want to be a normal kid. I was like, all right, that makes sense. And then she wishes for a fairy tale life, and like her personality is completely changed. She's just a singing daughter now, and she's like, oh, I have to fall in love with the prince or whatever. Like, what is she doing? She's just. And she doesn't go to school anymore. She does chores.
That's what I'm saying.
They brought that up.
She's Cinderella.
Right, and then she gets the evil stepmother treatment where she gets locked in a room and belittled and everything that Mother Gothel said, entangled, you know, all that stuff. And then she is in danger from the wand and Maya Rudolph at the end. I don't remember what happens in the middle of the
No.
movie with that character. You're right. A whole lot of nothing. But like,
Whole lot of nothing.
this is where my WandaVision brain was going. I was like, oh snap, she changed her whole personality. She's gonna want to break out of this and be furious at her mother, and that will actually make her the villain of the story because she tried to erase who she was.
Yeah.
And then that didn't happen. it didn't come up. She's like, no, this is fine. There's a hunky guy and he likes me now, so I'm cool. So let's see, what else is happening? Oh, that's right. The husband, he becomes a hero now instead of going to his boring lawyer job or whatever he does.
I will not lie to you, though. It was very, very funny when...
He was on the train, huh? The first time?
No, when that was kind of funny.
That was
But when
a
Corny
little bit more of that.
Right.
when Corny Collins comes and he is like, "What are you doing? Are you going to your like?" Well, I don't know what he says, but he says something like, "Are you going on an adventure?"
On
He's
a
like,
quest
"No."
or whatever.
No, I'm going to work, and he's like, "Take my sword."
He's like, no,
that was funny.
No,
I don't need your
Take
sword.
my sword.
And he took
really
it
makes him take it. So he's walking, gets on the train
with the sword.
with the sword. And then the other guy's like,
I don't know if you're gonna need that. We just get on a train every day. It's over and over and over
Oh,
again.
I thought that was cute.
Let's see here. Oh, that's right. Maya Rudolph's character, Lou. Maya Rudolph's character goes back to her lair with her stepdaughter lackeys or whatever, and she starts asking her mirror on the wall, which is Oscar from The Office, and
That was somebody else too. He was in Mr. Iglesias. He was the mean teacher.
Oh, yeah.
oh right, and Gabriel Iglesias' show.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. So she asked the mirror, "Who's the most powerful of them all?" And Oscar's like, "It's what's her face, Amy Adams over there down the street. She's the most powerful." And Myra was like, "What? This is impossible." Classic evil queen stuff. And then she makes it her mission to track down the wishing wand, and she sends.
And then she goes, "Hold on. I don't know what the other girl's name is, the one from Glee, but she's like, oh, no, she
Glee.
didn't say prettiest. She said most powerful."
Right.
And then he's like, "Oh, okay. And then she doesn't like say anything. She goes, "Oh."
Oh, I'm not the prettiest either. Jayma Mays is that actress's name. She plays Ruby. And then Yvette Nicole Brown plays the other one. Her name is Rosaline. And they're wearing the same dresses from Cinderella that the stepsisters wear.
All of these characters are just famous enough that I know them from like the one thing,
From
and
other
I
stuff?
can't like break them from that.
Right.
Like Community,
Exactly.
Glee.
You guys keep saying Corny Collins, but that dude is Cyclops from the X-Men.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I think Corny
He's Corny
Collins.
Collins. I'll even say that.
Yeah, and then
I
we
like
got,
Cyclops.
Well, at least for this role, like that's
Any
the
musical type of.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's
Patrick
corny.
Dempsey.
He's corny. Patrick Dempsey.
Ooh,
What
he's
is-
looking
what is he
old.
in?
I don't know, but he's looking old.
He was, yeah.
I was looking at the press for this movie, and like he has like salt and pepper hair in the movie, and he has
Yeah.
stark white hair in real life, like he bleached it.
Dang.
Oh,
I'll
he
find it.
bleached it, or it's like just old guy hair?
If it's old guy hair, it's like extra, like he did it up.
Like he using that purple shampoo?
Yes, every day in
Here.
the shower.
On the edge.
Hang on, I gotta go to 2023. Excuse me.
Is it that right there?
Yes, yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Woo!
that's just.
He said, "You ever heard of a silver fox? I'm a silver unicorn."
6 hours to dye his hair blonde. Like what? Well, because
Look.
it was that dark. But why is it that light?
He embraced his gray, and did this.
It's not necessary, brah.
Yeah.
Just like let it grow out.
Right, it was fine like this, Anywho, Patrick,
All right, listeners. Andre's gonna give you a little bit of that crazy white blonde picturage later.
Yes. Yeah,
No, you're not gonna do it.
I'll post the picture. Let's see here.
Andre too will be dyeing his hair.
No. I don't want Cisco hair. Okay, leave me alone. Younger listeners, Google Cisco. So what's the faces? Oh, also at some point, Pip, the chipmunk from the first movie, he comes back to this movie, but as Giselle grows more evil throughout the movie, he gets more evil as well, and he ends up turning into an evil cat, an evil CG cat. And the cat CG, I think, was the worst CG of the whole movie.
It was pretty disgusting.
But he does have a fun little scene where he breaks into a place and steals some stuff or something. That's right. The lackeys come in. The thing one and thing two, they steal the magic wand from the baby because the baby was holding it. and nobody's watching the baby. and then they take it back to Maya Rudolph, whose character's name is Monroe, Malvina.
Monrovia,
Malvina, Monroeville.
Did she ever have a husband that popped up, or no?
In the movie?
Herself.
No, I don't think so.
Are you trying to eat my knee, dude?
Did she mention a husband? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm just saying that I don't know what town in America would allow the woman to,
Well, I mean, she's not the mayor, She's just main lady number one. She's number one lady of the whole town.
Yeah,
Okay?
when does that ever happen?
I don't know.
Dude, wasn't Nancy Pelosi the mayor of San Francisco?
I didn't say anything about being the mayor.
I think you're right.
I think there's a current mayor that's a female in San Francisco too.
Right, there are plenty of
I'm
female
not saying
leaders
there's not
And I'm pretty
female.
sure
in America.
Oh my God.
Ami Boublanc is the mayor of Turlock.
Let me.
Amy
Boo
She's not listening, but Luis did not vote for you.
She ain't listening. Amy, put it in the comments if you're listening right now. Shout out. She ain't listening. Anyway.
Luis didn't vote for her because of her hair.
Amy, stop listening. Amy, get out of here.
Oh my gosh. We made it, guys. Amy Blue Block's listening to us.
Not
Hair
Amy
came
Adams.
very
Your
close
hair
to
is
Hillary Clinton
perfect.
status, and you don't trust that.
Hey, speaking of hair, I read a trivia fact earlier that says, despite being, this is the exact quote. Despite the fact that Amy Adams has ginger hair, she opted for a wig instead while filming.
What?
Apparently, that was a wig the whole time.
Well, ginger doesn't mean it's red.
Okay, so that makes sense to
Ginger
me.
could be like light carrot.
Did anyone
Like
else
carrot.
think that her hair looked weird at points during the movie?
It looks
Yes,
cakey.
definitely a little cakey, a little bit like cake. Mm-hmm.
Well, but the color
Fondant.
kept doing weird things, like right
Like
here,
half fondue.
like in her.
No. Fondant.
Like on her temples.
Yeah, like right in the temple area, like it. I swear it was like a different color. Maybe it was our TV or something, but it made it look like there was a like darker spot right next to
Oh,
the
I agree with you.
roots.
And now that you're saying it's a wig, then,
Yeah, Big Wig was definitely involved in this movie. I think Maya Rudolph's rocking a wig. Wouldn't surprise me if Patrick Dempsey was wearing a wig now. And I know he got shock white hair. Just cover that up with some salt and pepper nonsense. Oh, yeah, that's not a wig. Anywho, aside from Big Wiggery, let's see
Big
what else.
wiggery.
What else is happening? Oh, that's right. Because Amy Adams made this magical, reality-altering wish, it's sucking up all the magic from Andalasia. So when Morgan gets transported there by Amy Adams, who is also doing this like Jekyll and Hyde, Hulk and Dr. Banner,
was a whole
good and
switch.
bad, flip-floppity thing, Gollum and Smeagol. She was doing the back and forth, which was really odd. I didn't like it that much, except for the one shot where she's talking to Morgan, and it's like cutting to one side of Morgan's shoulder, and you see good side of her, and then the other side of Morgan's shoulder is bad side. That was a cool effect, but that was it. That was the only part I liked. So she's doing all this, and while she's coherently the real her, she's like, Morgan, you have to go to Andalasia and save us. You have to get some help. Help us. Bye. And then she shoves her through a wishing well, and she goes to the animated world. And like I said, I did enjoy the 2D animation. I liked it a lot. It made me like miss like a fully 2D animated movie. That would be cool to see again one day. Disney. Hello, Disney.
because it is. There's something nostalgic about it, I think, for our generation where that's all we had.
Right.
And
For
it
sure.
was beautiful in its own way. And now that you see what it could look like,
Right,
it's
yeah.
even more like, wow.
There's some 2023 the animation stuff. The animation stuff is just, CG. So anyway, while Morgan's down there, everybody's like, oh my God, Morgan, we're so tired. It's all nasty down here. All the magic is gone. We have to do everything ourselves. It's awful.
How dare I wash a pot?
Right. So she and Adina Menzel they run over to the memory tree.
The tree of remembrance.
The tree of remembrance, because it turns out that in order for Giselle to go back to herself, she has to remember what her real life was like. And so they go to her memory tree, which is dying. All her memories are gone, except for the memories that include Morgan. So Morgan remembers. They sing this.
Which he has to show yourself.
Yeah. We get the powerful love ballad. Love power. That's what it sounds like to me. Dina gets to sing. And then the memories are implanted into a piece of paper. What is a piece of paper? Oh, it's the memory tree that Morgan drew when she was a child or something like that. And then we dive into like the climax of the film where Malvina has the wand and is going to use it to keep everything the way that it is, where she has powers and is a queen and whatnot. And also Andalasia is being destroyed, and all the vines from Andalasia are coming up through the bottom of reality to infect the real world.
It's very confusing.
And also Morgan gets kidnapped by Malvina, who is going to use her against Giselle. And Patrick Dempsey has to go stab a clock with a sword. That is the climax of the film.
Yeah, he's like, quote unquote, stopping time so that the 12 doesn't.
Because once the clock strikes midnight, then everything will stay as it is, and Giselle will stay evil, and Andalasia will be destroyed or whatever. Which also includes Giselle being destroyed because she's from Andalasia, and you would think that would break the reality spell that she created, but I guess that's not how it would go. But
you don't know.
I guess I don't know. Movie. I didn't. Thank goodness. So yeah, all of that is happening. And Giselle helps Morgan realize that she is her daughter, so she has magic from Andalasia, even though they don't actually share a blood relation. But, you know, metaphors and whatnot work magically too. So
magical metaphor.
So she is able to put a stop to this whole farce of a reality, and they go back to living in the suburbs like regular people. And that is the end of the movie?
Well, and that was a hard one for me. Like, they when you foreshadow so hard that we literally saw the whole movie.
Right.
You did it too hard. Literally, the entire song of Courtney and Idina coming in to talk about the magic of Andalasia and this wandy wand that you wish upon. That thing.
Right. And we didn't even talk about the clip.
Daughter of Andalasia. And the other daughter's just like, well,
what about me?
Okay, me and my fakeness are going to go walk upstairs now.
Peace out. I'm not real.
That was like, okay, well, we see where this whole movie's going. Thanks for that.
Nothing.
After they get back to the real world, Morgan awakens in their house and everything's normal. Only she and Giselle are aware of the events of the movie, while everyone else believes it was a dream because they're the ones who used the wand, I guess. Giselle apologizes to Malvina for stepping over her plans, and they end up becoming like best buds. Oh, she's on the town council. So she's the head of the town council. She's not the mayor, but she's the head of the council, and therefore gets to
really know what that means,
run things.
She's in the city council.
Yeah. Sometime later, Robert,
Malvina.
Patrick Dempsey, has moved his practice to Monroeville, so he no longer has to take the train. Morgan and Tyson have started dating. Tyson is the hottie with the body. And Nancy and Edward arrive for another visit to the Phillips in their now happy life.
I don't like the name Tyson because it makes me think of chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You know,
yeah,
like
Tyson chicken, that's for sure. It makes me think of a boxer, Mike Tyson.
Well, so face tattoos and chicken.
It makes me think of a lith with a face tattoo.
Speaking of Tyson Fury beat up Jake Paul.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Actually, no, I went to decision.
Oh.
People say Jake Paul's actually a good
a pretty good fighter, right?
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But I guess he is.
I mean,
what else?
Bad YouTuber, good fighter. Let's go.
Anything's possible in this life.
So that is it for Disenchanted, we went through basically the whole thing. I wonder.
Sadly, it was an unnecessary that ended up being unnecessary. Which
Yeah.
was very sad.
Yeah, it wasn't my
Especially
favorite.
because that, like, I think we all meaning not Michelle, because she liked it the first time and she asked us to do it a lot, and we were like, but I think the rest of us were like, oh, that was actually a really good movie.
Enchanted.
Like, surprisingly
Yes.
good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was definitely surprised when I saw that movie.
But then,
and so it
like-
makes sense that they would make a sequel to it.
But then it kind of also makes sense that it would be bad, because we
Right.
don't do Disney. We don't do sequels well.
Right.
Why do we keep doing them?
Right, and I can see how Disney Plus is a big factor in that. Right, they're like, well, we got to have content for the streaming platform. Let's just make all the content. Let's just make it whatever. And we just did Hocus Pocus 2 as well not too long ago. And I think I would say that I enjoyed that a lot more than I enjoyed this.
Oh yeah,
Agreed.
Hocus Pocus 2 was way better.
Right, but even still, not a fantastic film
No.
by any means,
No.
right? So I think that's the kind of level of quality that they're going into some of these Disney Plus originals with. Is like,
But I don't need them to be Disney Channel original movies.
right,
No, and they really don't need to be.
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know.
And they had Mencken on the track, and Mencken failed us too. It was like,
I thought you said Megan on the track, like, eh.
Ah.
And then I realized
Megan
that
on the track.
Megan.
Ah.
Oh,
yeah.
Megan was on the tracks. I did.
I didn't understand one word you said. I just sat here smiling, like, what'd you say?
sorry. Alan Menken was on the soundtrack.
Was not doing his best on the soundtrack.
And yeah, definitely not doing his best. Like, I was waiting for a song to be funny. Like,
Couldn't even tell Alan Menken did this.
Right. If I hadn't
is an
read his
issue.
name somewhere, definitely would not thought it was him. And
I
they
just thought it was,
they
Lin-Manuel
probably
Miranda
didn't need to pay his
from
rate.
series who did this.
well, Lin-Manuel would have maybe have done a better job of this too. I don't know.
Don't say maybe. Yes, we do know it would have been
Right.
better.
Alan was like, you know what, guys, I'm
Would
done.
have been better.
I'm tired.
Done.
He's British?
I don't know.
Australian?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Where's he from, homie?
I don't even know.
Look this up.
Yeah, let me find out, and I'll just do the accent.
Because you
I'm
straight
done with this. He's American.
about to say, you gave him a Dicko
Is that
accent.
Alan Menken?
That's him.
Oh.
That's Al.
He kind of looks like John Travolta. No, he doesn't.
No, he does not. John Travolta's skin is pulled so tight on the back of his head. Did you see him in that Super Bowl commercial?
No.
He was singing "Summer Days" from Grease with the dudes from Scrubs, and he's completely bald right now. Which is okay look for him, but it does like like somebody's got a paper clip on the back of his head skin. It looks like it's pulled pretty tight.
I got him. Like a facelift type of thing?
I mean, maybe, but the face looks good. It just looks like the skin is pulled farther this way.
Oh, no. No.
Yes, it's bad.
I guess I need to go look, but anyhow.
Aging.
Summer lovin'.
Summer love. It happens so fast. On Rotten Tomatoes, this film is sitting pretty at a 36% on the tomato meter.
Dude, I was about to say, if this thing had a higher rating than Ant-Man, I would have flipped.
Right.
What did Ant-Man get?
So Ant-Man is
40,
still
so-
unbelievably low. I think it's at like 48% or something like that.
Wasn't it at like 38 though?
No, I think as low as it got.
Or it was in the early 40s.
45 or something.
Quantum. Why is this title so long? Quantumania. Rotten Tomato. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania on Rotten Tomatoes has a 48%, with an audience score of 83%.
Okay, so they're good about being done.
Yes.
And we realize that has nothing to do with this.
No.
But we just went and watched that movie, and we all thought like, oh, this is a good
Quite
movie.
enjoyable, quite
Like,
fun.
Best Marvel? No, but
No.
like not 40s.
Right,
No,
definitely not in the
they
40s.
messed
And the fact
up
that
on that
this is only 12% lower than that is
Absolutely unreal.
right.
that
It's a
is
mistake.
What's the
Not
audience
cool.
score?
The audience score is 52%. So there's an audience consensus and a critic's consensus. The critic says, although Amy Adams remains just as engaging as ever, Disenchanted lacks the magic that made its predecessor a modern fairy tale classic.
Okay, yes.
And the audience consensus says, as fun as it is to see the original cast reunited, Disenchanted is mostly just a forgettable disappointment.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Yep,
Yeah.
that is
Yes,
completely
yes.
agreed.
And I agree with that first one too, because Amy Adams, like, I haven't seen her in a whole bunch of stuff, but like, my girl is cute.
Right.
Yeah.
I like her a
Oh
lot.
my gosh, she like you
She's a
just
good
wanna
actress.
Squeeze her, she's so cute in
Yes.
every scene. But ay caramba,
But yeah,
I just want to watch the Muppets again now with her. Isn't that?
Oh, yeah.
Her and
Jason.
And Jason Segel.
Muppet Man.
Am I your Muppet? Is she in the other movies too, or is it just the first one?
I think she's just in that first one. Maybe she makes like a cameo in the Mother Muppets.
Again, I realize that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But yeah, this just wasn't necessary. And there's so many things they could have done.
Right. Right. There's other stuff. There's other sequels to be made. You know?
So let's go ahead and go into our ratings. I'm going to give it a 6.
Sace.
This is fine. Luis. He's all laughing over there. Well, the 6 is nice, apparently.
Dude.
Unwatchable, according to Luis.
He didn't.
Give it a number.
He didn't finish it.
Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.
Dang, that's the lowest you've ever given a movie.
This
Two it
was
is.
awful.
Even Kronk's new groove got
Dude, I
some
would rather watch
threes
that.
out of us, I think. I feel like I give it a 4 or something ridiculous.
We didn't do that on the podcast, though.
Oh, yeah, you're
I
right.
thought we did.
No, we didn't.
Well,
we just talked about
we
it.
were- we
because
had-
Just
tried
watched it
to.
for
Oh, we did that as
fun.
a
We
crowd.
tried to. No, we tried to watch it. We got like 15 minutes.
I think
dude.
we had watched something else, and then that came up, and we
No, and
started
we
watching
watched it
that.
right after we watched Emperor's New Groove.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Which I will tell you that I didn't sit down and watch it with the kids, but the kids watched it, and I
Yeah.
overheard part of it, and like, it was actually kind of funny.
Of Kronk's new groove?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like we had to get past whatever we had watched.
Right.
Whatever
we
we
didn't.
had
We didn't
watched,
make
yeah.
it very far.
Maybe don't watch it right after you watch Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm going to give this movie. It definitely got worse in my mind as we talked about it. You know, like I watched it and I was like, that was all right. And then it sat on it for a couple of days and I was like, it was okay. And now I'm like, that was rough. So I'm gonna give it a 5.
I'm giving it a 5 as well.
5 out of 10.
Deuce.
Cinco.
I mean, that's a hot load of garbage all the way around, sadly.
For real. Yeah. And it's good that it didn't come out in theaters because that would have been a tanker. And I don't know how much money they spent on it because that information is, it's not available. But too much probably.
Well, on another note, I'm pretty excited for the movie we're gonna do next
Oh, snap.
because it's a classic.
We're taking it back, way back into time. We are going back to the 1993
Year I was born.
live-action animated mouths feature film, Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. We got 2 dogs and a cat, and they are not at home no more.
They are not at home.
I think if you haven't seen Homeward Bound, it must have come on like a gajillion times on the Disney Channel when we were younger, right? 'Cause I remember seeing it a lot of times. So it's definitely a nostalgia film for us. I remember it being pretty good in general, but I don't think I've watched it in over 20 years.
Oh,
you know?
no, I haven't watched it since I, like you said, like maybe watched it as a kid.
Right.
On maybe Disney Channel, but I remember, I'm pretty sure I had it on VHS.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I watched it like on TV, so we'll see. Dude, I'm just going to say that,
Sorry.
no.
He was literally silent at my mother's house. Not one word out of his mouth quiet.
Well, technically, no words here either.
He was just like,
Kicking it here.
whatever. Here, he's like, yeah, what's up? I'm home.
Well, we're all talking, so he's like, I'm talking too.
This is how I act at our house. Just wild. But we have a playpen, so.
It's just cute.
He's just screaming. It's very funny.
Yeah, but
He's standing up now, so.
look at that.
It sounds wonderful to my ears, listeners. I don't know what it sounds like to you, but he's pretty cute.
Yeah.
But they also don't get to see him. while
Right,
he's doing
that's
it.
true. That's true. And he's not of
Here,
their
what do you want to tell
their
the
loins.
listeners, Trey? Say thanks for letting me yell on the podcast.
All right. That is it, right?
I am disenchanted.
We have all been disenchanted. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. Check us out on social media. We're at the Walt Vault Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go there, slide into our DMs. Let us know what you thought of this film. Is this anybody's favorite movie ever? Let me know.
I'd like to meet the person.
Also, let us know if you want like a water buffalo or a rhinoceros as your emotional support animal. Drop that in the comments as well. We will see you guys next time for some homeward bound goodness. The vault is now closed.